Hey everybody, what's going on? Ben here from blogwithben.com, and welcome to the final video in the blogging video series. In this video, I'm going to show you how to publish a blog post on your WordPress site. However, I'm going to take it one step further. I'm also going to show you how to create high quality content that will help you increase user engagement and effectively grow your blog's audience. Now, the tips I'm going to show you in this video are used by businesses and professional bloggers. By the end of this tutorial, you'll be able to create unique content that is SEO friendly and full of rich and responsive media. Here's what you'll learn in this video. Number 1, how to create list content. Most blogging tutorials just show you how to add a few paragraphs of text and then that's it. But I'm going to show you how to create list content. This type of blog post is proven to increase user engagement, and it will present your content in a unique and powerful way. Number 2, how to add images and featured images. Adding media is another surefire way to increase user engagement, but it also allows you to use images to help tell your story. This tip will cover how to add high definition images to your content and how to add a featured image to your blog. Number 3, how to add tags and categories. WordPress has a ton of awesome features out of the box, and tags and categories are 2 features that will help you organize your content. It's also a great way to help your audience quickly find what they're looking for on your blog. Number 4, create hyperlinks. Linking to other websites and URLs is a powerful tool whenever it comes to blogging and SEO. In this tip, I'll show you how to create a hyperlink within your content and link to an external website. Number 5, create an SEO snippet. Speaking of SEO, it's extremely important to have a strong SEO foundation whenever you start a blog. This tip will help you get found in the search results, and it will help you optimize your blog post for the search engines. Number 6, create and embed a responsive video. Having a responsive website is pretty much a requirement nowadays. That's why all of your content needs to be created with that in mind. This tip will cover how to add a responsive video, but you'll also learn a tangible skill, how to configure HTML within your blog. Finally, number 7, how to schedule a post and how to publish a post. Finally, you're going to learn how to schedule a blog post for future release dates and how to publish blog posts so that you can start sharing value with your audience as soon as possible. Now, if you've been following along the videos in the playlist, chances are you've already watched me publish a blog post, but I wanted to make a video that was dedicated solely to walking you through the entire process of publishing a high-quality blog post that will help you lay the foundation for a strong digital platform. Also, this way you can have a resource to reference whenever it comes to the most important aspect of blogging, publishing valuable content. So, with that being said, let's get started. Now, there are a couple of different ways to add a new blog post, and I'm going to show you both ways, but they each do the same thing. It really comes down to what you're most comfortable with. So the first thing we want to do is visit our dashboard. So on the upper left-hand side of the screen, hover your mouse over the site title and click on Dashboard. And once inside the dashboard, we have a couple of different ways to access the visual editor and publish a blog post. Now, the first way to add a new blog post is to hover your mouse over New at the top of the screen and click on Post. It'll be your first selection in that drop-down menu. The second way is to hover your mouse over Posts on the sidebar and click Add New. This will be the second selection in the drop-down menu, but again, both of these options will get you to your visual editor and they'll allow you to publish a blog post. So let's go ahead and click on Add New. And this will bring us to our visual editor, commonly referred to as the WYSIWYG editor, which stands for What You See is What You Get. And the thinking behind that title is that whatever content you add to the visual editor is the content that you're going to see on your blog. And we'll get into that a little later on, but just know that whenever I say WYSIWYG, I'm referring to the visual editor. Now, if you've been following along with my previous blogging videos, you'll notice that the visual editor is basically the same as when you add a page to your blog. The concept is fairly straightforward. You have a title section where you enter the title, a content section where you'll enter the content. Below, you'll see the Yoast SEO plugin if you've installed it. Then we have our publishing options on the right, formatting options, and then right under that is the categories, the tags, and then below, out of the shot, is the featured image section, which we'll go over in just a few moments. Now that you know your way around the visual editor, let's create a blog post. So the first thing we want to do is give our blog post a title. So where it says Enter Title Here, simply type in the desired title of your blog post. Now remember, your title is going to be your blog post's headline, and crafting an attention-grabbing headline can be difficult at times. However, for this video, we're going to be creating list content. And what I mean by list content is that we're actually going to be writing about a list of 5 tips to planning a stress-free vacation. Lists are great because they give the reader a quantifiable return on their investment of time in reading your blog post. They typically do well in any niche, and the list content is extremely shareable. This is great for growing your audience and building your authority in your area of expertise. So now that we have our headline, there are a couple things that I want to point out before we start adding content. First, if you look right below the title, you'll see that the permalink has been automatically generated for you, and it's using keywords within the blog post title for the URL. This is not only convenient, but it's great for SEO as well. I should also mention that you have the ability to edit this permalink, but quick tip, you should never edit the permalink if you've already published the blog post. Always remember that. And if your permalink isn't using keywords within the URL, then you'll need to change the permalink settings, which can be found under the settings section of your dashboard. Now, speaking of SEO, as we begin to write this blog post, the Yoast SEO plugin starts going to work. And as you can see, it's begun to create our snippet that will show up in the search engines. And unlike the permalink settings, the Yoast SEO plugin pulls the exact title that we type in the visual editor. Now, you have the option to edit this and change it as well, but we're going to be going over this a little bit further on in the video. All right, moving on. Next, we want to add some content. So directly below the title is the visual editor, and this is where we'll enter our blog's content. Now I should point out that the editor has the ability to switch from the visual or the WYSIWYG editor to the text editor. And basically what this means is that the visual editor is like a Word doc. You can copy and paste images and text, and it will act like you're using Microsoft Word. But the text tab will bring you to the text editor, and this will show you the HTML of your content, which we'll cover a little later in the video. This feature comes in handy if you're familiar with HTML, but even if you're new to HTML, it's a good way to get your feet wet with the code and learn how your blog posts are structured. All right, so let's start adding some content. Now, for the sake of time, I'm just going to be using dummy text for the content within this post, but this is where you'll actually type the text for your blog post. So I'm going to go ahead and paste a few paragraphs of the dummy text within the visual editor. Now let's preview the post to get a better idea of what it looks like. So click the preview button. And right now we're looking at our preview environment and it looks great. Content is readable, it's scannable. I like how that looks. All right, so let's go back to our visual editor and let's add some headings within our content. Now remember, we're creating list content, so each number item on the list will need to be a different sized font. So this is where we'll change the font size and create headings. Having different headings within your content is good for SEO, content structure, and readability. Headings help people skim through your content and quickly find what they want. So to change the size of your text and turn it into a heading, simply highlight the text that you want to change or place the cursor where you want the heading to be. Then click on the arrow next to where it says paragraph to access the drop-down menu. This lets you select the different sizes of headings. We have heading 1 through 6, 1 being the biggest and 6 being the smallest. And you can select whichever one you see fit, but I'm going to go with heading 1. So I'll just select heading 1 from the drop-down menu. And as you can see, as we begin typing, the font size is drastically different than the rest of the content. All right, so I'm just going to repeat that process and add a few more headings within this blog post. Now, while I'm doing that, I want to point out that whenever you create list content, it's a good idea to make each list item a heading. So as you can see, this blog post is about 5 tips to planning a stress-free vacation. So each tip will be listed as a heading. Again, this makes your content scannable, easy to read, and it helps the reader quickly find what they're looking for. Another thing I want to add about headings is that within a blog post, headings are good for SEO. Now, the value in terms of SEO is probably less than it used to be, but headings still help Google grasp the main topics of a blog post as their bots scan it. So either way, headings are important to have. All right, so again, I'm just repeating the process and adding our final 2 headings within this blog post. So we'll go ahead and add our 4th heading. Have a travel budget. It's a pretty good tip. And our 5th one, select the heading 1. And let's name this tip, Enjoy the Stay. Works for me. All right, so now that we have our headings, let's go ahead and preview it and take a look and see what it looks like. Nice, looks great. Our travel tips are now listed as headings within the content. Again, this makes our blog post more scannable and easier to read. It's just a better user experience overall. All right, so let's go back to our visual editor and let's add an image to this blog post. Now, before we do, I want to touch on why you should add media to your blog posts. There are a ton of benefits to adding images and videos to your content, and it can get somewhat technical at times, but just know that adding media to your posts will increase user engagement, promote social media shares, and it's just visually appealing. I always recommend using different types of media throughout your blog posts. So for this post, we're going to add an image at the top of the content. So first we want to place our cursor at the top of the post because this is where we want the image to show. Next, you'll want to click on the Add Media button. And this will bring us to our media library. This is where we can upload and store images on our WordPress site. So to add an image, click the Upload Files link, and then click the Select Files button and choose the image that you want to insert into the post. Once you've decided on an image to use, I should point out a few great features that WordPress offers whenever it comes to asset management. If you look at the lower right-hand side of the screen, you'll see the attachment details and display settings. This is a pretty robust feature that allows you to configure the image and change the way it's displayed on your blog. Now, for this tutorial, we're going to leave the settings alone, but just know that you have the ability to configure the image within the media library. All right, once you've selected the image that you want to use, click the Insert into Post button, and the image will be added to your content. All right, now let's go ahead and preview this post to see what it will look like once it's live. So click on the Preview button. And it looks great. We have our image placed above the content. It's a clean and professional presentation. Plus, the addition of the media to the blog post increases user engagement and it adds a unique element to the post. I'm really happy with what this looks like. Now, if we go back to our visual editor, you're probably wondering why the image and text look differently than how they're presented on the live blog. Well, the visual editor doesn't know the resolution of the screen you're using or the browser that the content will be displayed on. It simply gives you a visual representation of what the content could look like. That's why it's always important to preview your content before you publish it and make it live for the world to see. Moving on. Next, we want to create a category to add this post to. Now, a category is a group of related blog posts that are about similar subjects. Whenever you create a category, it makes it easier for people to find your content. So to create a category, on the right-hand side of your screen where it says Categories, click on the Add New Category link. And then directly below that, we'll type in the name of the category that we want to add this blog post to. So since this post is about vacation tips, let's name this category Vacation Tips. So once we've typed in the name of our new category, we're going to click the Add New Category button, and our category has now been created. Next, let's add some tags. Tags are a bit similar to categories, but there isn't a hierarchy and they can't be used within a menu structure. But they are good for grouping content and helping your visitors find specific types of content on the blog. And I'll show you what I mean in a few seconds. So first, let's add some tags to this blog post. Think of tags as being keywords that relate to the content of the specific post. So to add a tag, go to the Tags section and enter in some keywords. Be sure to separate these keywords with commas as well. Now, once you have your tags, click the Add button, and our tags have been created. Next, let's add our featured image. Now, all a featured image is it's the image that visually represents your post on your blog. It's like a little blog advertisement. And if we fast forward and take a look at the end of this video, you'll see what I'm talking about. And as you can see, the images within the slider and the latest post section are featured images. This is a great way to promote your content and generate interest in your blog posts. So to add a featured image, we'll click on the Set Featured Image link under the Featured Image section on the right-hand side of the screen. And this will bring us to our media library. And again, this is the same process as adding an image. We'll simply select the image and click the Set Featured Image button once we've found the image that we want to use. And there we go, our featured image is set and ready to be displayed. So I'm going to go ahead and publish this post, but before I do, I want to point out the different publishing options you have. So let's say you still have some work to do on this post and it's not ready to be published. No worries, just simply click the Save Draft button and your post will be saved in a draft status and it won't be live for the public to see. Speaking of the public, you also have the ability to set the visibility of the post to public, private, and password protected. Finally, WordPress allows you to schedule the posts for future dates as well. This can come in handy when you start creating multiple posts and need to schedule them throughout the month. But for this tutorial, I'm going to go ahead and publish the post so that we can see what the featured image looks like on the homepage. So to push our changes live into production, simply click the Publish button, and this will publish the blog post for the world to see. Now, once it's been published, let's visit the site to see what it looks like on the homepage. Awesome, looks great. We have our featured image in the slider and in the latest blog post widget below there. Looks really nice, looks clean. It's a professional design. I like how that has come out. Now, the great thing about this theme is that it pulls the featured image from the most recent blog post, and it shows that image on both the slider and the blurb. All right, let's go ahead and visit the post we just created. So go ahead and click on the 5 tips to planning a stress-free vacation. And I want to show you how the category and tags are presented on each blog post. So as you can see, our category is listed next to the author's name, and it's a clickable hyperlink just like the tags below the post. And as we scroll to the bottom of the page, you can see the tags are listed as clickable hyperlinks as well. Again, the categories and tags allow you to group together related blog posts that have similar content, which allows your visitors to find what they're looking for a lot quicker, and it creates a better user experience overall. All right, let's go back to the visual editor and talk a little bit about SEO. Search engine optimization, commonly referred to as SEO, is crucial to the success of any blog and online business venture. Luckily, the Yoast SEO plugin streamlines a ton of the technical aspects of SEO and makes optimizing your blog posts for the search engines a cinch. Bottom line, the Yoast SEO plugin helps you optimize your blog so that you can increase your page rank. Now, if you haven't installed the Yoast SEO plugin, I recommend you watch video number 4 of my blogging video series where I walk you through the process of installing the Yoast SEO plugin. But you can easily install this plugin by clicking on the plugins link on the sidebar of your WordPress dashboard. All right, so let's take a closer look at how to use this plugin to your advantage. Now, there are a ton of things you can do with this plugin when it comes to SEO, but for this tutorial, we're just going to focus on using the snippet editor. I highly recommend that every time you publish a blog post that you craft your snippet in the Yoast SEO plugin. So first, let's check out the snippet editor. Now, as you can see, the plugin has already generated a snippet preview and is showing you a rendering of what this post might look like in Google search results. The cool thing about this plugin is that you can edit the snippet without having to update any code. It really does a lot of the heavy lifting whenever it comes to the technical aspects of SEO. So if we click on the Edit Snippet button, you'll see that you have the ability to change the SEO title, slug, and meta description. Now, the title is the title of the blog post, obviously. The slug is basically the words that the plugin displays towards the end of the URL or the permalink. And this feature allows you to configure the permalink if you'd like. Finally, the meta description is the portion of the snippet that describes your page or post to the search engines. Now, try to keep your meta descriptions to about 155 to 160 characters. That's typically best practice whenever it comes to SEO. Plus, as you begin to type your meta description, the Yoast SEO plugin has this ranking bar that begins to grow and change colors to let you know that your post title and your meta description are acceptable. So to show you what I'm talking about, let's go ahead and start typing in our meta description. And looks like we're green, and that means we're good to go. Next, let's take a look at the focus keyword. Now, as you begin to create a blog post, you should be thinking about your focus keyword or your main key phrase that your post is about. The focus keyword is a keyword that you want your page to rank for. Whenever people search for that keyword, you want them to find your post. So you want to be sure to type in that focus keyword within the input field on the Yoast SEO plugin. Now, once you've done that, the plugin will evaluate that page's content and it provides feedback on how to improve the page for that keyword. So if you remember, this post was about vacation tips. And let's say that we're trying to rank in the search engines for the keyword phrase vacation tips. So obviously, in the focus keyword field, type in vacation tips. And the plugin will evaluate the content and let us know if we have optimized the content for that keyword. Now, since this is dummy text, the content won't contain any of those keywords, but you get the idea. This is a very powerful feature for a free plugin. One more thing I want to say is that normally you would have to do all of this manually and alter the code on your page. If you're new to blogging, the Yoast SEO plugin saves you a ton of time and it cuts your learning curve in half. So once you've updated your snippet, go ahead and click the update button and your SEO changes will be live and reflected on the search engines. Next, let's add a hyperlink within our content. So if you're unfamiliar with what a hyperlink is, chances are you've seen and used a hyperlink while surfing the web. Basically, a hyperlink is a link to another location or file online, and it's activated by clicking on highlighted text or images on the screen. It's an extremely useful function, and it can help you build backlinks to your site, build authority within your niche, and it creates a good user experience on your blog. All right, so to create a hyperlink, we'll go back to the visual editor and highlight the text that we want to use as our hyperlink. Then at the top of the visual editor, click on the link icon, and this is going to allow you to insert a link within the text. Next, you should see a text box, and this is where you're going to paste or type in the URL that you want the content to link to. So for the sake of time, we're just going to link to Google, but you'll obviously want to link to a site that's relevant to your content. Once you've entered the URL you want to link to, click on the arrow icon to apply the URL to the text. Now I want to show you some cool edit features. If you click on the pencil icon and then click on the gear icon, you can access the link options. And this is a cool feature that allows you to change the URL, update the text, link to existing content, or have the link open in a new tab whenever someone clicks on it. Now we want the link to open in a new tab, so just check the box and click the update button to make our changes live. And then click the update button within the visual editor to publish those changes. All right, so let's visit the site. And you can see that whenever we click on the hyperlink, it works, but it's hard to find. And see, it's right there. So it does take us to Google. But the theme's default link settings don't really distinguish between what is a hyperlink and what's regular text. It's hard to tell. So we want our hyperlink to stand out so that people will know to click on it. So let's change the thickness and color of the font so that it stands out. So we'll go back to the visual editor and we'll highlight the text that we want to change. And again, this is the hyperlink that we set before. And let's make it a bold font. So click on the B icon at the top of the screen to change the font. And then let's change the color as well. So we'll click on the A icon to change the font color. And once you've settled on a font color, go ahead and preview the post to see how it looks. And it looks great. The hyperlink is much more noticeable than before, and it definitely draws the reader's attention to the text. Next, I'm going to show you how to add video to your blog. To be more specific, I'm going to show you how to embed a YouTube video within your content. Now, just a quick heads up, the next few steps will be somewhat technical because we'll be dealing with HTML, but what I'm going to show you is very basic and easy to learn. Plus, if this is your first time working with HTML, you'll be gaining a new skill set, and that's pretty awesome. Now let's fast forward real quick so I can show you what we're going to be doing. So right now we're looking at what your blog post will look like once you've embedded the video within the content. Adding different types of media to your blog post will increase user engagement, and videos add new life to your blog as well. Plus, they can help you present content in some cool and unique ways. Also, if you have a YouTube channel, this is a great way to promote your videos and get in front of an even larger audience. Speaking of YouTube channels, if you haven't done so already, I'd appreciate it if you would like this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel, which we're looking at right now. I'm always adding valuable content, and I'm working on some great video tutorials that will be coming out very soon, so be sure to subscribe so you can stay up to date with the new content. Alright, now in order to embed a YouTube video, the first thing we need to do is decide on a video to use. Now, since this blog is a travel blog, let's use a video about my favorite travel spot, Maui, Hawaii. So in the search bar at the top of the screen, we'll type in Maui. And then this will show us related videos about Maui. So next, go ahead and click on the video that you want to use. This will bring us to the YouTube video, and I'm sure we're all familiar with YouTube. However, the part of this video that I want to talk about is the sharing component. YouTube has some pretty robust features that allow you to share your video across the web. So to access the sharing features, click on the arrow icon next to where it says share. And you'll notice that YouTube offers a few different ways for you to share your video. The first option is to share your video through social media. And as you can see, there are various social media networks for you to choose from. I should point out that the URL below those icons is the URL that you'll copy and paste whenever you want to share the video. This is a convenient way for you to spread the video through your social media channels. Next is the embed option. This sharing feature is a little different because it gives you the actual HTML that you'll place within the text editor of your blog. Now, if you're new to HTML, no worries. We're just going to be copying and pasting the code to the blog. It's a super simple process that will look really cool once you're done. The final sharing option is to email the video. And this one's pretty self-explanatory, but this is the sharing feature that you'll use if you want to email the video to someone. Alright, so now that we've covered all the sharing options, let's go over how to add a video to your blog post. Now you have a couple ways to go about this, but I'm going to show you how to actually embed the video within the HTML on your blog. So the first thing we want to do is we want to click on the embed option. Now one thing I want to point out is that you have some custom features within the embed option. If you click on where it says show more, you should get a drop-down menu, and you'll see that you can get even more specific with how your video is presented on your site. For starters, you can change the size of the video. Secondly, you have some options in terms of whether or not YouTube shows suggested videos when your video ends, whether or not the player controls, title, and player actions are showing on the video, and you can also enable some privacy settings as well. Plus, you get a preview of what the video will look like. Again, these are pretty robust features that can improve the way your video is presented on your blog. Now, for the sake of an example, I'm going to uncheck the player controls and the player title options so you can see how different the video looks. And it does look a little bit different. The player controls are gone, and so is the title. But I'm going to go ahead and check those boxes so that the player controls and the title show. This gives the viewer the option of actually starting and stopping the video when they visit your blog. Alright, so next we're actually going to implement the code within our blog post. But I'm going to break this down into two parts. The first part, I'm just going to copy the code that YouTube provides and paste it into our blog's HTML. Then for the second part, I'm going to show you how to tweak the code and make the video responsive. Now, if you're unfamiliar with what responsive means, it means that we're going to make the video mobile friendly so that whenever someone views your blog on a mobile device, their experience on either an iPhone or a tablet will mimic the experience that they have on their desktop. Alright, so like I just mentioned, I'm going to show you two ways to add a video to your blog. The first way is going to be the way that I don't recommend you do it, however, it will still work. But as you'll see in a few moments, it does have some flaws. The second way will be the method that I recommend you use whenever adding video to your blog. So let's go over the first way to do this. So the first way to add video is we're just going to copy and paste the code onto our blog. So go ahead and copy the code that YouTube has provided. Then go back to the visual editor. And in order to access the HTML, you'll want to click on the text tab on the upper right-hand side of the WYSIWYG editor. Now, what you're looking at is the HTML of your blog post. Keep in mind that this is not a full HTML file, but most of the formatting that you do in the text editor is done manually by writing HTML. Now, I don't want to intimidate you if you're new to HTML, but all we're going to be doing is copying and pasting the code within the text editor. It's just a matter of finding the spot in the text where you want to place the code. So I want to place this video underneath our second travel tip, Travel Light. Now, you're going to have to kind of search for the text within the HTML, but once you locate the area where you want to place the video, simply paste the code that you just copied from YouTube. Now that we've embedded our YouTube video within the HTML, let's preview the post to see what it looks like. So go ahead and click the preview button. And if we scroll down to the video, we can see that it looks all right, but the spacing seems a little bit off. Plus, whenever we check the responsiveness of the video, it just doesn't look right. And as you can see, I'm going to shrink the size of the browser so that it matches the size of a mobile device. And when I do, the YouTube video just doesn't respond the way we want it to. The dimensions are off, and there are two large black bars above and below the video. Let me show you an example of what it's supposed to look like. If we visit my blog, you can see how a responsive video is supposed to act whenever it's viewed on a mobile device. The video should remain constant regardless of how you're viewing it. And as you can see, when viewed on a mobile device, the video is presented in a way that is consistent regardless of how it's being viewed. This enhances the user experience and presents your media in a clean and professional manner. Now, normally to get a video to respond like that, you'd have to be well versed in CSS. However, I'm going to show you a quick shortcut that allows you to simply copy and paste HTML like we just did a few moments ago, but the result will be drastically different. You'll have a mobile responsive video that looks great and functions correctly. Alright, so if you've been following along step by step, we'll need to get rid of the video we just embedded. So I'm going to go back to my text editor and just simply delete the code we previously got from YouTube. And real quick, let's make sure the video has been removed and our post is back to normal. Alright, looks great. Next, I want to show you the shortcut that allows you to easily embed responsive videos to your blog. If you visit embedresponsively.com, you can use the site to easily build responsive embed codes for embedding rich third-party media into responsive web pages. And basically all this means is that you'll be able to create responsive videos by using this website. And regardless of whether you're watching this video on blogwithben.com or on YouTube, you can find a link to this website below the video. Alright, what you're looking at right now is embedresponsively.com. It's definitely a minimalist site, but it gets the job done. So if you look towards the top of the screen, you can see that they have various types of media sources for you to choose from. And since our video is from YouTube, we're obviously going to choose the YouTube option. So in the field where it says YouTube page URL, we're going to be entering the URL of the Maui video that we want to use in our blog post. So what we'll want to do is we want to go back to the YouTube page of the Maui video, and we'll want to select the share option. This is going to give us the URL that we'll use for the Embed Responsively site. Next, copy the share URL that YouTube gives you, and then go back to embedresponsively.com. Then paste the URL into the YouTube page URL field and click the Embed button. Awesome, we're almost there. Next, you'll see a preview of your video, and directly below the preview is the embed code that we'll paste within our blog post's HTML. Now, before we do, I want to show you a little trick. The embed code that you're looking at will give you a responsive YouTube video, but it won't give you control over whether or not you want to show the player controls or if you want to disable showing the suggested videos when the video finishes, because it's using the YouTube share URL and not the YouTube embed URL. So here's a quick way to keep those features on your video when using the Embed Responsively site. First, you'll want to go back to the YouTube video and select the Embed option. Then, within the code that YouTube gives you, only highlight the video URL and not the entire snippet of code. This is very important. Be sure to just copy the URL within the first set of quotations. Then, once you've copied that URL, go back to embedresponsively.com, and within the snippet of code below the video, find the YouTube URL. It should be towards the end. And once you found the URL within the code, simply highlight that URL within the quotations and paste the URL that we just copied from the YouTube snippet of code. And there's our new URL. So now once the new URL has been added, go ahead and copy the entire snippet of embedded code and paste it within the HTML of your blog. So you'll want to go back to your blog's text editor, and within the HTML, simply paste that code that we just copied from embedresponsively.com. And be sure to paste the code where you'd like the video to show within the text. There we go. Now let's go ahead and preview the changes. And if we scroll down, we can see the video. Awesome, looks amazing. We now have a beautiful piece of media that not only looks great, but it's responsive as well. And as I change the size of the browser, you can see what I mean. The video remains constant regardless of how it's viewed. This is the end result that we wanted, which makes your blog post look clean, elegant, and professional. Nice job. All right, so the last thing that we need to do is publish this post so that these changes will be live. So simply go back to the text editor and click the update button, and your blog post will be available for the world to see. So let's visit the site to make sure that the post looks all right on the home page. And it looks great. As you can see, the most recent post is the one we just published. So let's go ahead and take one last look at the post. So let's quickly review what we've built up to this point. We have our attention-grabbing headline with our category below the title. Next is a high-quality photo to lead the post. We also have some good-looking headings that separate our list content and make our content scannable. There's also a hyperlink within our content that links to an external website. We have a responsive video that we've embedded within the code. And as we continue to scroll down the post, we can see the additional list items, headings, and tags. Looks awesome. And there you have it. You've created a high quality piece of content that's SEO friendly and ready to be shared with the world. Creating unique content is one of the best ways to deliver value to your audience. And if you keep creating posts like the one we just made, you'll be growing your blog's following in no time. So that's going to do it for this video. If you found this video helpful, I'd greatly appreciate it if you would like, share, and subscribe to the Blog with Ben YouTube channel. As always, your support means a great deal to me and my family, and for that, I thank you. And one final thing, remember, success doesn't happen overnight. Stay focused on your goals, never quit, and you can truly accomplish anything. So with that being said, good luck with your blog, and take care. Thanks for watching.